Have you ever watched an anime that impacted you so deeply that it stayed with you for years? The anime and episode in particular that I'm going to highlight here today hit me hard. Even thinking about it now gives me those same feelings I had when I first watched it. It's like the story found its way into my heart and stayed there. It's like it became a part of who I am. How can an anime leave you so emotionally drained? How does it resonate with you so strongly? Anime is a powerful medium that can invoke the strongest emotional reaction in its viewers. It could be a hype fight scene that raises the stakes, maybe a sad ending that makes you think about life, or perhaps the anime left you with questions, making you see things in a new way. Anime has a special way of doing this. For me, it was episode 10 of Violet Evergarden. That episode broke me emotionally in a way that I'll never forget. Violet Evergarden is one of those unique masterpieces in anime that is so heavily story-driven. It's a fairly episodic series, with each episode adding to the bigger picture of the character's journey. It doesn't need to be big, it doesn't need to be flashy, it keeps things simple and hits you with a well-written story that keeps you engrossed in a way that most anime can't. So, the story follows Violet Evergarden, a girl who was trained as a weapon during the Great War. After the war ended, Violet, who was seriously injured in one of the last battles, lost her way of life and the only person she was close to. All she had were the last words of that special person, but no understanding of their meaning. When she got better, Violet didn't know what to do. She ended up working at CH Postal Services, where she saw something amazing: people called auto-memory dolls. These dolls were ghostwriters who wrote down others' thoughts and feelings into letters. Inspired by this, Violet became an auto-memory doll herself. This new job takes her on all sorts of adventures, helping people with their feelings and stories, and along the way she hopes to figure out what the words from that special someone she cared about really meant. The entire series is designed to be a tearjerker, and let me tell you, it definitely has its sad parts. However, I'm not someone who cries easily, except for when something really sad happens in my own life, but episode 10 of this anime completely broke me down. In this episode, Violet is helping a sick mother write letters because she might not be around for much longer. Clara, the mother, is very sick, so she can't be with her daughter Anne as much as she wants. Even Anne herself notices that her mother is different now, so she tries to be with her as much as possible. Anne is feeling sad because her mother is spending all her time with Violet writing letters instead of being with her, and she doesn't know what the letters are about or who they're for. Anne is lonely because she lost her dad in the war and now her mother is sick too. She wants to be with her as much as she can before she's gone. Now, there's a big moment when Anne finally opens up to Violet about how she's feeling, but the real surprise comes at the end. After a week, Violet finishes writing the letters and leaves. Now Anne can spend the rest of her mother's time with her. Sadly, her mother passes away. But it's then that Anne learns that the letters were all for her. Every year on her birthday, she'll receive a letter from her mother for the next 50 years. It's a special way for her mother to always be with her, even though she's gone. So yeah, this episode had a twist that caught me off guard. I never expected the letters to be for Anne, and when they revealed it, it hit me hard in the feelings. Honestly, it felt like a punch straight in the emotions. Violet Evergarden is good at making you feel things, and this episode was the best at it. And lots of people in the anime community felt the same way. When it came out, everyone talked about it online, and even now people remember how it made them feel. But why did it affect people so much? This episode is remembered for its touching story and emotional scenes, especially the ending where we see Anne grow up. It shows the love mothers have for their children, which many can relate to if they have a good relationship with their own mother. But it's more than just about mothers. We all have close relationships with family, friends, teachers, or even pets. The bonds you forge in life are the essence of what it means to be human, and that feeling of loss when they're gone, it hurts a lot. The way Violet Evergarden delivers this message throughout the episode, and particularly its ending, really resonated with me for the fact that it made me want to cherish the time I have in this world with the people I care about. Even simple moments are important. Memories last forever, even in sad times. This episode taught me to find happiness in life even when things are tough. Now, despite the somewhat tragic storyline, the episode still ends on a hopeful, albeit bittersweet note that gives it a really satisfying ending. But it wasn't just the storyline that made this episode in particular such a hard hit. The way it was delivered blew me away. What made this episode so heartbreaking was its simplicity, and what made it stay with us for years after it aired was how beautifully the episode was made. KyoAni is one of my favorite animation studios, and among its impressive roster of titles, Violet Evergarden is one of its standout anime. The combination of jaw-dropping visuals that Kyoto Animation is known for and an outstanding soundtrack, this episode does not lack anything in terms of presentation. From the scenic settings and visual representations to the emotion captured perfectly on the characters' faces, the simplicity of the storyline is elevated into something truly special. Kyoto Animation made us feel like we were part of the story, so when sad parts happened, we felt them deeply. And the voice actors of both the Japanese and English cast do an amazing job delivering every single emotion felt by these characters throughout the entire episode. So if you were to check out only one episode of Violet Evergarden, episode 10 should be it. Hands down. However, despite everything we went through in this episode, one of the most heart-wrenching moments of the entire episode was still yet to come. For me, the ending of this episode made me cry a lot. First, we see Anne growing up while her mother's letters are read, but the finishing blow comes after this. We see Violet, who has returned after her trip, and she begins to explain what had happened while she was away and then started to break down in tears herself. Watching the emotion fall out of her while I was in a very vulnerable state myself was hard to take, but then she dropped the line. I had to hold back my tears the whole time I was at the mansion, and Jesus H. Christ did that stab me right in the gut, and once again I became an emotional wreck. 2 hits in short succession. The entire episode had that element of sadness to it. The part where Anne bared her frustrations to Violet started to get me a little, but the reveal of the letters as they were read out and then the Violet breakdown moment back to back, man, it made me cry so damn hard. The whole episode was so beautifully written and put together. It was all sad, but those last moments will stay with me forever. Anime tells powerful stories and makes us feel strong emotions. It can help us face tough topics like depression or give us a break from real life. If you're up for it, check out this video next where I talk about how this anime portrays mental health perfectly.